Hey guys, Paul here with PatTech. In this video, it's all about the green screen. We're going to show you how to go from this to this, or possibly this. We're going to keep it real simple. Green screen, 1080p, one click, 1080p at 30 frames a second. I think you find it interesting. Let's take a look. Okay, welcome to my basement studio, which is about 13 feet wide by about 23 feet long. And so to do the green screens that I do, let's take a look. So 10 by 12 backdrop green screen, and this is a muslin type. It's kind of a nice fuzzy, soft fuzzy material. I can put a link in the description for you if you want to purchase it. I think it's made by Savage. Off to the sides here, I've got two 60-watt fluorescent bulbs that I just use to shine on the back of my head to try and take the green fringe out, because I'm not keying in a sophisticated program like Adobe Premiere. And then at the sides here, in front of the table, I have two 4-foot fluorescent tube T8 bulbs, so two on either sides, and I apologize if this is making some noise because I'm just holding the lab mic in my hand. But so yeah, I've got two T8 bulbs here, two T8 on the other side, and they are approximately 6 feet from the table, maybe 10 feet in total from where I'm actually sitting. And one of the keys to green screen to help reduce the fringing is to set your talent station as far from the backdrop as you can. And I could probably move further away if I needed to, but I found that I've got an acceptable result. And this is about 10 feet from the screen and 10 feet from my seating position to the camera. So really, you know, two 60-watt fluorescent bulbs, which don't cost a lot of money. The T8s are just shop lights, really, and you can get them at Home Depot or Lowe's, any place like that, and that'll get you started. Okay, so the next piece of the puzzle is, you know, making sure that you're in focus. And in case you haven't met Irma here, so now you know how I get my camera to focus on when I'm shooting videos. Irma comes in handy a great many times. I can't tell you. Okay, let's get her out of the way. Okay, so now that the comedy portion of the video has been taken care of, the next step is to show you how to key out the green in Camtasia 9, and this particular clip that I'm shooting now is what I'm going to use to do that. So let's flip over to Camtasia, we'll take a look. Okay, so we're going to start off here with a completely black screen, and the clip that I'm working on, the one I just shot, is this one right here, and this is it in the clip bin. And so really it's just a matter of clicking on this and dragging it down onto the timeline. And if I bring my cursor over here, what you can see is there's Irma holding up her side of the studio there. And so the first thing I want to do is just select the clip that you want to key the green out of. All right. Then you're going to come over to Visual Effects. You're going to click on Remove a Color. Click and drag it on top of the clip. And then once you do that, you need to come over to, if you click here, it opens up a little dialog box, which for some reason is opening up on the other side of the screen here. So let me just see if I can fix that for you so that you can see it. So if you click here, you'll get an eyedropper, and then once you've got the eyedropper selected, you just click on the green, and voila, it gets rid of the majority of the green. Now what you have to watch out for is that if you notice there's a little bit of fringing here around my collars. Okay, and to eliminate that, you have some adjustment in the tolerance here, the softness, the hue, and the defringing. And to be honest with you, I find it's the tolerance that will give you the most adjustment, and just from playing around, I found that number 8 will get rid of that bit of fringing there. So let's just play it through. Focus on when I'm shooting videos. Irma comes in handy a great many times. Yeah, so the areas that I was just circling there, you can see that it's not fringing anymore. So just dropping the tolerance down to 8% is all I needed to do. And now, times I can't tell you. What you can see is a really nice clean background. And now one thing I'll point out is that if you notice in the next couple of seconds when I'm moving, that's when you will see the green fringing is the most noticeable, okay, at 1080p at 30 frames per second. But honestly, it's still quite a good green screen key, especially when it's just one click, one tolerance adjustment, and you're done. Okay, let's get her out of the way. So there, I think you notice when I put Irma over to the side, it highlights or emphasizes the green on the side of the shirt or on the side of the face. Now, the other thing that will help to reduce that is if you wear a light colored shirt, like a pink shirt or a light blue, you're going to notice, or you're going to be on a light background, you'll notice the fringing a lot more readily. Whereas when I'm wearing a dark shirt here, which is closer to the green color that we've keyed out, it's not so noticeable and you get a nice clean key. Okay, next on the agenda is we want to take a look and see how I put together the backdrops using Photoshop. And so let's jump into Photoshop. We can take a look at that. And just before we do, I just wanted to point out something. I did a video recently where I was talking about improving your audio for YouTube. And in case you haven't noticed, I've been using the Asden Pro XD with the 507 mic, and I just happen to have it sitting here on the bench, and I apologize, I'm probably making a lot of noise shuffling this thing around, but yeah, so the transmitter is just sitting here on the table and the results I'm getting are fantastic. I've typically in the past just stuck it in my pocket or my shirt pocket and, you know, clipped it onto the shirt, and I found that with this mic you can have the lab part way down on your shirt, but even just having it on the table in front of me gives you a great audio quality. So if that's of interest to you, check out the video on the channel that I did just recently on the audio quality. Okay, so let's jump into Photoshop now and let's see how I did these backdrops for you. Okay folks, so now we're going to take a look and see how I built the backdrops for our green screen. And so here's the first backdrop that I selected. It's kind of a wood panel, barn board, whatever you want to call it. And the one issue I found is that, you know, if you just type in brick paneling or, you know, faux walls or whatever, most of the sites want to charge you. And so here's where I got this panel from. If you go to wayfair.ca and you just type in faux brick or brick panels, you'll come to all these little examples here. And so I found this one, and you see how it gives you a nice big full-size screen grab. So I'm on a 4K UDHK monitor, and so when I just do a screen grab of this panel, I get a nice high-quality image that I can use as a backdrop. And so that's how I got my backdrop, or at least the first one to start. So then the next thing is, you know, how did I do the pictures? So there's one of the pictures, and these are the three files. And so let's back it up this way. So basically I had a series of 3 photos that I shot while I was in Bilbao, Spain, which is where the Guggenheim Museum is. And so these 3 pictures or 3 images are basically just down the street from the Guggenheim, but you could put whatever images you want. And so I started by bringing in the image, and then I put a little bit of inner shadow on the image itself. Okay, that was the first thing I did. And then I put the white border around it, and on the white border again I put a little bit of inner shadow. And then for the frame I just put a slight drop shadow on it, and that gave me the effects that you see here. So basically I did one, and then I did copy layer styles from one to the second one to the next one, and I did one horizontal, and voila, you got a pretty spiffy looking backdrop. And then if we move up here, Can't remember what this layer is. I don't think this layer was of any use, to be honest. I think we can get rid of that one. But this one, definitely, there's your light rays. And those were just made by basically making a selection at 20 pixels, Gaussian blur. And I lowered the opacity, and voila. And so I did 3 of them. I just copied them from one to the other. So this was the first PSD that I did, and then I wanted to enhance the effect a little bit, make it darker up here so it would look like the lights were having a little bit more of an effect, and I'll show you that one. And let's see here, I think it's this one. Yeah, so basically what I did on the top layer here, I basically just made a selection and filled it with black. I did Gaussian blur, and then I cut out some areas around the top of the picture, although you can't see that in this image. And that's essentially how I got to the final look that I used in Camtasia. So this is the file that I'm happy to share with you guys. If you want it, just shoot me an email and I'll fire it off to you. And you know, then I did the exact same thing. I just started substituting backdrops behind these pictures, and I came up with 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and that's what you're seeing in Camtasia. Okay folks, so that'll do it for this episode, and I just wanted to sort of come clean with you and let you know that I'm not receiving any money. I'm not endorsed by Asden audio products. You know, if you're wondering, that's why I'm plugging the microphone. I'm just trying to give you, you know, some decent advice that'll help you improve the quality on your YouTube videos. And in case I didn't mention earlier, the PSD file that I created for the backdrops in this video, all you gotta do is email me and I'll send it out to you free, no charge. You can swap out the images, put your own in or play around with it. That might help you a little bit as well. And so don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you found it useful. And I'll see you next time. Take care.